lists and a Facebook list, and you already do influence other people. And that is going to grow as you further get involved. This thing just magnifies. The need is important, and there's such a great need now for answering the questions. And this is where I have the most confidence, and that is that the views are correct. I sometimes, I never think that I am the person, I can deliver the message, and me, I. You don't hear that. But I'll tell you what, the message is correct. I believe the liberty message is the right message as your personal liberty, your right to your life, your God-given right to your life. You own your life and you own your body. You should own all the fruits of your labor. And the philosophy of liberty, of free markets, of sound money, and contract rights. It was partially understood, not as well as it's understood now by the philosophers, but it was partially and pretty well understood, probably best ever in our country. And we enjoyed the blessings of liberty. We had the greatest prosperity ever. And we had the largest middle class. But what you're seeing and what you're dealing with and you have to handle is the end stages of a country that forgot about it. That they got too concentrated on the material benefits of freedom, forgot about freedom, and thought they all they had to do is redistribute wealth. Well, there's not much wealth left to redistribute. Whether it's young people getting out of college with nothing but debt and a tough time getting jobs, and the world is filled with debt, and there's the promise that all we have to do, Keynesianism is on the ropes, and we have to replace it with something. We cannot live with this idea that all we need to do is spend more money, borrow more money, and more debt. If you don't have enough, you just print the money. That is dying and nearly dead, and it's your job to replace it with the philosophy of liberty. I'm convinced that one of the best and easiest selling points for liberty is it brings people together. It brings people together of all walks of life. And that is why it pleases me that when you talk about the principles of sound money and the Federal Reserve, you bring people together from all spectrums of the political philosophy. Dennis Kucinich, after giving the most powerful speech yesterday in defense of regulating and controlling and looking at the Federal Reserve. But it brings people together because it recognizes that we're all different and that we come together for different reasons. We can have conservative lifestyles, we can have different lifestyles, we can have different religions, we can have different tastes in our movies, different tastes in what we want to read. And we don't have to make those decisions. It's when government gets involved and they want to dictate to us. And this is why monolithic, universal education, monopoly controlled by the federal government is wrong. We want individuals making these decisions, individuals and families and parents being responsible. But we should not be fighting with each other, because if you want to use your liberty one way and somebody else some other way, you want your liberty. That is what is important. But some people don't like that. They say that even in the Republican primary, it was very clear that some of the candidates thought that you needed a lot more regulations on your personal life, and you might do dumb things, and you might have bad habits, and therefore we have to be more authoritarian with our rules and regulations. And others, on the other side of the spectrum, might say, oh yes, it's free markets and capitalism and some money, it's unfair because some people might get rich. Getting rich honestly is something good, but getting rich because you're in debt with the government and with the Federal Reserve and getting all the benefit, that's something else. But when you realize this, people should come together for one goal, and that is to have a government that is designed to protect freedom, not to run the economy and redistribute wealth, not to run your life and teach you how to be a good person, that's your job, and not to try to run the world and tell other people how to run their country and then threaten them with force if they don't do it. This is the way you move toward peace and prosperity, is with the understanding of what liberty is all about. frequently is, how long is the system going to plod along like this? How long can the dollar last? How long can we keep running up these debts? And there is no precise answer. In Austrian economics, it teaches that you can look at trends and you can have economic laws and you can make projections of what will likely happen, but you can't do very much on timing. Timing has a subjective element to it. And there's confidence. Confidence is subjective. Sometimes there's false confidence, and sometimes it's a reasonable confidence. One time we had confidence in our dollar because it was as good as gold. The dollar is not as good as gold. It's not much good anymore these days, and it's going to get worth a lot less. But still there's confidence in the world. And as long as there's confidence, we're going to print the money, and we're going to bail out everybody. But believe me, every single day we're getting closer, because the prediction is, and the understanding of free markets is, you just can't do this endlessly. You can teach this to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, and you said, oh, you want some money? Well, here, I'm going to give you a piece of paper, and I'm going to write a 1 or a 10 or a 100 on it, this is money. Well, they can't be fooled, and then you tell them, well, let the Federal Reserve do it. Oh, yeah, that'll be okay. Most people can figure this out. So sometimes Austrian economists will make sort of projections. Oh, it didn't happen. Well, maybe it didn't happen yet. But the whole thing is, if they do hold it together, see, I think it deserves, it has no foundation to the dollar or to the system, that by pure logic, it probably we should be in a lot worse shape. But that doesn't rule out the accuracy of the understanding. So if this continues, eventually the confidence will be lost. And that is when the real crisis comes. If it's delayed, be grateful for the delay. Because you're young, you're just getting out of school, and you're trying to take care of yourself. So the first thing is you have to know and understand and be able to take care of yourself. If everybody can take care of themselves, there'd be no problems in the world. And, but then we have to, be very much involved in family life and local community life and be prepared for it, but to be involved. But the more time we have, the more people that will be involved. Because if you have a crisis and you have 1% of the people who know what's right, but the general population just says, no, the problem is we don't have enough government, which is we've been arguing now for 50, 60 years. Always a problem with more government. But that's running out. People are realizing that is not the case. So anytime we have means that it gives us a chance to prepare and to teach and to spread messages, and so that the transition is much better. So it's really working hard to understand these issues so that you see and participate in the transition. And I think so many of you are so far along in this, and I see so many young people come to my office, and sometimes they're teenagers in high school and sometimes in college, and I always remark, I said, when I was your age, I'm 14 and 15, and they were very Rothbard on monetary policy. And I said, well, when I was a teenager, I didn't have much concern about any of this. And even when I was in college, I wasn't too concerned about it either, because I was thinking about other things, sports and going to medical school and studying. But conditions are different now. And I think the problems are so apparent that this is the reason so many of you are anxious to know and understand and learn and how to do something. So it is, this is available. Much of the information was not available to me easily. We had those who were curious enough to want to find the answers and find the truth about economic policy. We had to search, we had to find the books, we had to find the foundation. There were so few, and they were far between. I frequently said that the Foundation for Economic Education, Leonard Reed was very helpful to me, but now there's no excuse. The information is out there. It's easily gotten. There are a lot of books available, and the message is spread. I think that has helped us these last 5 years, the spreading of this message. Very early in the campaign, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I made a statement, and somebody came up and they said, that went viral. And I thought, well, is he talking about medicine or what? But I see where everyone meant to go viral. The information